Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to another edition of Jerry's Take on China. I'm Jerry. Last year, China's government decided to restrict off-campus, after-hours, holiday and weekend tutoring. They also placed a limit on homework given to students by schools. They called this initiative the Double Reduction Policy. Let's look at what it means and why it happened. Up to the age of 15, Chinese education is free, but it's highly competitive. Many parents feel the pressure of getting the best education for their children. Because of this, a lot of private companies sprang up to take advantage of the anxieties, capitalizing on opportunities available by charging parents for services that really ought to have been provided by schools. I personally know of some teachers who went so far as to not provide some of the services they should have been offering, and to make more money they sent students to private centers where they worked part-time to teach them what they should have learned in school. Many of the institutions offering online courses are located offshore. Some offer great services, but it's impossible to know if a teacher is even qualified. Maybe it's a low-income worker in a developing nation, possibly a sexual predator grooming the kids, even a white supremacist with a grudge against China. Something had to be done, and the government stepped in to correct the situation, but there are some concerns. While the overall initiative has been criticized outside of China, it's been widely praised inside of China. Much of the praise has come from concerned parents who've been confused by high prices, dubiously qualified teachers, and an overall lack of supervision. There's no way to find out what kind of experience, background, or qualification your child's part-time teacher might have. Some of the institutions were charging huge sums of money and insisting on upfront payments. One of these was a publicly listed organization, posted 670% growth in 2021. China now has a problem with not enough kids being born, and the government has implemented many positive changes to encourage more children. They included, obviously, the lifting of the family planning policy, which we all know as the one-child policy, and even providing tax incentives and cash payments to new parents. Many of these initiatives were eclipsed by the high costs of, in many cases, unnecessary class time. Pressure on kids was enormous. Some young students moved from one class to another. They were going all day Saturday, all day Sunday, as well as some evenings during the week. It was inevitable that the government would take action. What's surprising, at least to me, is how long it took to do so. The new rules will limit the amount of time youngsters can attend, and also limit the subjects to only those subjects which are not taught in school. In other words, kids can take music lessons, they can take part in dances or sports, but they can't go to English, science, or math classes anymore. It's fair to say most kids also see the benefit of this. Although the move was forecast by President Xi as early as 2018 in one of his published books and in a speech that he made, many of the private schools and language centers seem to have been taken by surprise. The share prices of some of the listed companies dropped by as much as 90% overnight. One of them experienced an 80% drop in revenue and has laid off 60,000 employees this year. That's how big these organizations were. This is not the first time that China's government has moved to protect its population from predatory practices. Tech giants have been brought under control in order to prevent such things as data harvesting and selling to protect the privacy of consumers through the exponential rises in online shopping and, of course, social media. They've also regulated some previously unregulated online finance companies, which were offering loans to entice customers. As has been seen in many Western countries, these loans appear attractive at first, but are the start of a spiral of debt as the loan becomes due. Then the companies usually offer more until the consumer is in a mountain of debt. Whilst there are some legitimate concerns, as the new legislation and new government department are all assembled to deal with the industry, it's obvious, although there were some reputable and high-quality services on offer, these were not the majority. Many industry insiders know that there are also lots of rogue operators capitalizing on the fear and anxieties by offering high-cost, substandard services to parents who were looking for the best opportunities in this highly competitive country. If you'd like to add anything to the discussion, please feel free to leave me a comment, ask any questions. I'm always happy to answer them. And on that happy note, we'll leave it for there on this one. See you next time.